Children, today we are going to see the remaining part of the lesson from Trade to Territory History Chapter 2 from this video 3. Let's recap what we have learned from the last video. We have learned trade that leads to battles. We have learned about two battles, Battle of Palsy and Battle of Buxar. And the company officials became nabobs. The remaining part of the lessons will be continued in this video. Robert Clive. Robert Clive himself amassed a fortune in India. He had come to Madras from England in 1743 at the age of 18. When in 1767 he left India, his Indian fortune was Euro 4,01,102. Interestingly, when he was appointed Governor General of Bengal in 1764, he was asked to remove corruption in company administration, but he was himself cross-examined in 1772 by the British Parliament, which was suspicious of his vast wealth. Although he was acquitted, he committed suicide in 1774. The topic we are going to see is how the company rule expands in 1765. If we analyze the process of annexation of Indian states by the East India Company from 1757 to 1857, certain key aspects emerge. The company rarely launched a direct military attack on an unknown territory. After the Battle of Buxar, 1764, the company appointed residents in Indian states. They were political or commercial agents, and their job was to serve and further the interest of the company. Through the residents, the company officials began interfering in the internal affairs of Indian states. They tried to decide who was the successor to the throne and who was to be appointed in administrative posts. Sometimes the company forced the states into a subsidiary alliance. According to the terms of this alliance, Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent armed forces. They were to be protected by the company, but had to pay for the subsidiary forces that the company was supposed to maintain for the purpose of this protection. If the Indian rulers failed to make the payment, then part of their territory was taken away as penalty. For example, when Richard Wellesley was Governor General, the Nawab of Awadh was forced to give over half of his territory to the company in 1801. As failed to pay for the subsidiary forces. Hyderabad was also forced to cede territories on similar grounds. Next topic, we are going to learn about Tipu Sultan, who was called as the Tiger of Mysore. Mysore had grown in strength under the leadership of powerful rulers like Hyder Ali, who ruled from 1761 to 1782, and his famous son Tipu Sultan ruled from 1782 to 1799. Mysore controlled the profitable trade of the Malabar coast, where the company purchased pepper and cardamom. In 1785, Tipu Sultan stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper, and cardamom through the ports of his kingdom and disallowed local merchants from trading with the company. He also established a close relationship with the French in India and modernized his army with their help. The British were furious. They saw Hyder and Tipu as ambitious, arrogant, and dangerous rulers who had to be controlled and crushed. 4 wars were fought with Mysore in 1767 to 69, 1780 to 84, 1790 to 92, and 1799. Only in the last, the Battle of Sringapattinam did the company ultimately win a victory. Tipu Sultan was killed defending his capital Sringapattinam. Mysore was placed under the former ruler dynasty of the Udyas and a subsidiary alliance was imposed on the state. Questions for these sessions. First one, what is subsidiary alliance? Second, list the kingdoms which were annexed on the basis of subsidiary alliance. Third, write a short note on Tipu Sultan. Fourth, picture based questions. This question you have to refer page number 17. In that, first question, what is it? Second, where is it kept? Remaining topics of this chapter will be continued in video 4.